Welcome to the second session of the day on climate change and sustainability. I'm pleased to introduce myself for the first session in this discussion. And I'll be talking to you about sustainable wine here and there. What I'm trying to do is frame what's happening internationally with respect to sustainability certification. And so let's get started. Before I came to Mendoza, I spent about 5 days in Santiago, so I thought that'd be a great place to start this discussion. Chile has started a national code for the sustainability of Chilean wine industry as of 2010, 2011, and they're really trying to pursue this in this triple bottom line perspective, this interconnection between environmental friendliness, social equity, and economic viability. And so that's where this really fits into the economics of everything, is that intersection of these three is the sustainable balance, where everything meets in the middle, where the compromise exists, where there's the greatest strength. And so they have a variety of indicators that they're looking at, from the vineyard, here, viticulture, efficient use of water, nutritional management, environment and diversity, waste management, soil protection, the community, human resources, neighborhoods, air quality, suppliers, and the winery, from production, water use and management, materials and energy efficiency, and residue management. Now, what's interesting is that every country has its own framework for measuring sustainability. And so I thought from one of the newest, or the closest that exists in South America, it'd be great to move to the oldest. And New Zealand has established a sustainability code since 1994. And you can see they have a totally different platform. They use pillars: this biodiversity, soil, water, air, energy, chemicals or no chemicals, byproducts, people, and business. So already we see big differences between Chile and New Zealand. And since they've been around since 1994, they have 94% of all of their wineries certified sustainable, and they had goals of being 100% by 2012. So they're not quite there yet, but they're pretty close. They have about 7% certified organic. They also have this certified organic label, and they think that by 2020 they might have 20%. And they have a 0.2% biodynamic, and I'll mention what that is in a few moments. Now, I don't know how many people went to the conference in South Africa a couple years ago, but maybe while you were there, you were drinking the wine and you noticed this on a lot of the bottles, this integrity and sustainability. This was created in 2010, and again, a very different platform and system. They have a board, a secretary, all these different audits and committees. So the benefit here is that you're going to be creating new jobs within the wine sector, a sustainable kind of platform for measuring all this. Now, that could create a new level of bureaucracy, but at least we might have some good products over the long term. In the US, we're not really sure what's going on. We have the California Certified Sustainable Wineries and Vineyards, which has been around for about 10 years. Oregon has a brand new certification as of a couple years ago, and there's a lot of different wineries putting the word sustainable on their labels, whether it's been certified or not. So there's a lot of confusion as to what's going on. We have USDA organic, and then Canada, we have Canada organic. Both of these mean totally different things. So there's not really a standard platform. And again, there's others. Australia has a triple bottom line approach, and they've been around since their program's been around since 2000. And what I like about Australia is they actually have scales of success. So it's like you get the blue, the green, the yellow, or the red, if you've, based on your level of sustainability under the categorization that they have. Austria has proposed a new system as of 2014, and they said spring 2015. It's not quite in place yet. There should be something up pretty soon. And they're going to have an online tool, which should allow wineries and vineyards to just kind of go online and measure where they stand and benchmark themselves. Italy has proposed something new, Viva, this water and carbon footprint calculation, which is a little bit different. And then while this is not necessarily the same category, I wanted to include it, but France has Le Climat de Vignoble de Bourgogne, which is kind of a terroir-based viticulture, but they're looking at heritage, landscape awareness, involvement in sustainable tourism. So again, they're still looking at a way to be sustainable in what they have. And then I luckily learned last night about the International Organization of Vine and Wine. And as of 2008, they have guidelines for sustainable viticulture. This is an intergovernmental organization. And just as of 2014, they have 5 things they're going to be looking for: climate change, water footprint, reduced pesticides, exchange of plant materials, and definition of principles. Now, if that's not confusing enough, there's not-profit certifications. There's a California certification, this SIP, Sustainability in Practice, which has about 32,000 acres privately. And there's the Demeter certification, which is for all kinds of farming, kind of no chemicals approach. And you could put this on your label if you have some kind of certification. So is this getting confusing yet? Because I'm getting confused as I do all this. There's certifications all over the place. What does it mean to be sustainable? So what are we going to do? And the literature base in sustainable wine and vines is really growing. There's articles in the Australian Journal of Enology and Viticulture, the Australian Journal of Grape and Wine Research, the American Journal of Enology and Viticulture, International Journal of Wine Business, Journal of Wine Research, Wine Industry Journal. Even Nature has included some research on this. And so they have the same general goals, and that is we recognize that we want a good wine, and we want to be good to the environment. We still want to make money, and we want to help people in the process. But there isn't a standard way of measuring that at this current time. We put the words on the label, but it doesn't necessarily have the same meaning. And so what I'd like to propose is some type of international best management practices that we can make available. It's not just like an academic platform, but just available for everyone. And I think the place to do that is here, in this journal. And so what I've proposed with Carl and Nick this year, and we're hoping to kind of set it up for the next couple of years, but it's to do some kind of special edition in the Journal of Wine Economics. And while we're doing that, define, what sustainability means from the wine economics standpoint. Also, maybe break everything down from a cost perspective, because what we all want to hear is it'd be great to be sustainable, but if it's going to cost an extensive amount, nobody's going to do it. You still want to make a profitable bottle of wine. So we can break that down to low cost, no cost, medium cost, or high cost, and make these options available to the producers out there. And then keep things interdisciplinary, because this is a very interdisciplinary field. Even though we're here focused on economics, we come from all these different backgrounds and have all these different degrees and research areas of interest. So I think to kind of connect what we saw this morning with climate change, many of us, I think in this room, recognize that climate change is real. We're a part of this large planet ecosystem, and as we want to have a good product, we need to take small steps to move forward, to do our part to make a good bottle of wine, one that we can enjoy, one that helps the communities, one that doesn't damage the environment, and that can still be very economically profitable. And so what we're thinking about doing for this session is giving everyone kind of 2 minutes for clarifying questions, and then we're going to have a better discussion on questions at the end. So thank you, and if anyone has a clarifying question, I'd be happy to address it.